Hi everyone, it's Erin from Lady Bee Collective and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, if you notice, it is in a different area. I needed more alone time and quiet time, so I thought that I would pick here. So, welcome to this space. Today I wanted to talk to you about communication and when it becomes just so exhausting and it just takes from you emotionally. So I talked about this on my podcast. I don't know if you heard it, but I did a really good job. Honestly, I know I'm like patting myself on the back, but I did. And you can listen to that on Anchor, or you can go directly to www.ladybeecollective.com and listen to it. And there are just so many aspects of communication that I thought I would just elaborate a little bit today on this concept. Okay, so number one, we all know communication is key, right? And so for a lot of us, it's hard on one end to always communicate effectively or directly, because maybe in our past when we've gotten maybe a response that we don't care for, right? And it has made us kind of into people pleasing when it comes to communication. And in that kind of in turn, I've noticed that the people pleasing kind of leads to feeling like you have to call someone back right away, that you have to text them back, email them back, even if you just let them know like, I can't talk right now, but I'll get back to you. It's just this like rush that we have, that we feel like we need to, because, well, why not? It only takes a few seconds. It's respectful to do. We would want it done to us. But what we don't realize is, even though it only takes a few seconds or a few minutes, with so many people, if you do that with, it can be very exhausting, and you won't even realize that that's part of the reason you're just feeling mentally drained and exhausted when it comes to communicating, right? Because every day we have so many forms of communication: text, phone calls, in person, emails, Skypes. Like, it's, whether they're good or bad, for whatever reason, even if it makes you feel so much better, it's really emotionally taxing as we get older to talk all the time, and especially when it's heavier topics or just topics that take a lot of space up in our minds. And so with all of that being said, I think it's really important to kind of take inventory on your communication for many different reasons. One, I think sometimes we take conversations and we kind of dump all of our stuff onto people, and we don't even know if they can handle that. So if it's a really close friend and you know that, I think that that's fine, but I've noticed myself kind of asking, like, you know, this is going to be emotional. Do you have the room for this right now? Because I think that it's respectful to them, it's respectful to you, it shows boundaries. And if they don't have the room and you start talking about really heavy things, you're probably going to get very short answers. And the problem with that is then you're going to feel offended. It's going to make you feel like maybe you're overreacting, or shame or guilt, and then you're not going to feel any better and even more exhausted when you start. So I've talked about a little bit about this before, but I think about asking that. And then on the flip side, the same with if somebody wants to have an emotional conversation with you. Now, with that being said, there's a few people in my life that no matter what, I'm going to make the time and the effort, because they have done that for me. Usually I don't like to go too much in depth, but when I do, they've been there. And so for me, it is worth the exhaustion. It is worth the time, because they're so close to me. And I keep my circle very, very small. I might not even see them for a really long time, but I just know that they have my back and I have theirs. So for those, I will almost always take that on. But for the rest, as much as I may love them, and again, this could be family, close friends, anybody, the person you're married to, dating, relationships, you know, there's only so much time in a day that we have to give our energy to. And I know it might sound rude, but I've gone through this where people would reach out and I just always want to get back to them, and I always want to just say something, and I found myself being like, okay, this will go, let me just respond, it'll be really quick. And it's like, why do I want to do that? If it's not for work or something I have to do, why is it part of my friends or family or relationships that I feel the need to just find myself saying like, oh gosh, I'll just text them back right away? Like, that's not how it should be. And I know that society has it that way, but the reality is, again, you have to look out for you and the ones you love. And it's great to want to like talk to everyone or give them one sentence here or there, but the problem is those people end up getting angry at you because you're not ever going to give them 100%. And it's not because you don't care for them or you don't want to talk to them. It's just that we all have to prioritize what is good for our mental and physical health, who has been there for us, who is there in both the good and bad, and who is there for our growth, who is there to inspire us instead of compete with us. And I think when you get to that point, and when you get to trusting yourself and knowing your importance, knowing that your energy and time is everything. I don't care if it's you can't talk because you just want to rest. That is your own time to recoup or reset, and you deserve that. And nobody should make you feel bad for that. And people unfortunately do. So there's a time where you have to take that inventory, write it down, write the important people in your life, and make sure that you and them, that you make time with them. You know, again, on the flip side of that, a lot of times I find myself just texting, hurrying back, because we don't take the time to make those phone calls because we're busy. We're busy with life, and not even so busy. We're feeling down and about a lot of times. We have different challenges, different things going on. We feel like we're always playing catch up, and we know when we get on the phone that the 30 minutes we were going to talk about is going to turn into hours. And although it would be amazing, we can't always do that. But I think we do have to make time for that kind of approach and not just always do texts and emails, because I'm working on that. I will always be working on that. And it's something that I try to implement little by little to people that are important or that make the effort. With that being said, again, I think that you have to remember your time and energy is so precious, even if you don't feel that it is. It is, because you can't be the best person. You can't be the best caregiver, mother, sister, brother, father, you know, whatever it is. If you're not realizing how much energy you're expending, you know, as if we're not already expending so much energy every day, right? So I think that making that list and kind of having the talk with sometimes with people that you're close to, or just, you know, realizing that it's not ghosting, it's no offense. You know, people take so much offense to things. Sometimes it's not personal, it's what we need. And I think when we can slowly implement that in our lives, we'll start realizing that the friendships and the relationships get better because we're putting more, like almost 100% into those. Instead of giving the ones we should so much, we're just kind of spreading ourselves thin, trying to get back to everybody. And that takes a lot to kind of change those ways, because I found myself again doing that today. Just like, okay, I have to get back to this person. If I don't, they're gonna get mad, or even more so, I'm gonna forget. I'm literally gonna forget, and they're gonna be offended. And it's like, no, your real friends, your real family is not gonna be offended. Make sure to openly communicate if you feel comfortable. If not, it's just how it goes. And that's not cold-hearted. It's what's best for the other person too. Because if people are giving their 100% and you're giving 10%, that's not fair, you know, and vice versa. And I think we spend time on, you know, work, children, relationships, all these other areas of our life. You know, we write them down, finances, okay, how are we gonna do this, or this is our goal. But we don't really talk about the goal of who's close to us and the communication and our time and energy. Why don't we ever kind of talk about that, just, you know, generalize too? And that's it. I just wanted to say that, a little food for thought. And just to be gentle with yourself and know that we're all going through this, and that if we collectively don't take offense to it and try to communicate and try to have those boundaries and not exhaust ourselves, we're just gonna be better, happier people. That's just how it has to be. So I'd love to know if you have anything to add to this, if you agree with me, if you disagree. Oh gosh, I'd love to have a conversation about this. So leave a comment, like, dislike if you don't like it. Follow me on my page for more kind of tips on life, women's wellness and health, relationships, just kind of a little bit of everything. So I hope you like this. I would love for you to subscribe and hear more. I'd love for you to comment, like I said, or even reach out to me, DM me on Instagram, email me at info@ladybcollective.com. Check out my Instagrams. I do daily posts and stories, and there's so much coming to my website. There's already so much on there, but like I said in my podcast, I really want to put a bunch of resources just for, like, you know, jobs and housing and mental health and relationships and friendships, because I feel like we all kind of need to talk about these things, and we don't always want to talk about them with friends and family. And we also, sometimes it's nice to have a place where you can find a bunch of resources that will just help you, you know, get through the obstacles or help you get to the next level in your life. And so I think I want to do that. So let me know if that's something that interests you as well. So yeah, check out ladybcollective.com. And as always, you are enough, and you're capable, and you're worthy, even when you don't feel it. You are making an impact on people, and the most important person is yourself, and always will be. So remember that, and I hope you have a great weekend. I know it might be hard for some people. Father's Day is a difficult holiday for a lot of people, so remember just to be gentle with yourself. Your Father's Day doesn't have to look like anyone else's Father's Day. You're allowed to feel your feelings and feel what you feel, and you also are allowed to feel happy without guilt, and you're also allowed to feel sad without that same guilt. So that's it for today. I am going to get going, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.